Okay. This is Uptick Updates, episode 13. In this episode, the objective is to go over how artists can achieve success on Uptick. I'm super excited. We have the Spilt Ink joining us tonight. But first of all, Brian, how's everything going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, good to see you again, and good to see you, Johnny.
Hello.
Yeah, Johnny, could you, the Spilt Ink, could you tell us a bit about who you are?
Um, well, first off, I just want to say thank you very much for having me on your podcast. It's great to be here and it's great to see you guys. And yes, I hope your listeners find this interesting. Well, I mean, what I say interesting anyway, but yeah, I'm an artist living and working in Tokyo. I've been here for 20 years. I've worked mostly in kind of like graffiti, I guess pop surrealism. I don't know. My stuff is my own stuff. That's why I go by the name the Spilt Ink. It's just like Johnny is Johnny. That's who I am and that's what I do, I guess. I don't know. Classify my stuff. Good luck.
Nice. So we have Brian, based on your experience, what would you say the number one thing is for artists to be aware of when they want to, achieve success on Uptick? Is it consistency? Is it self-promotion? Is it something else? What really stands out to you as something that a lot of artists don't realize?
Yeah, so actually in past 2 years, I also learned a lot when just like we grow together, right, with artists, with NFT industry. So yeah. I feel NFT is a pretty creative way to bring the artist into the new Web3 economy. But on the other side, the business model is changed, I would say. So we have to realize the business model is changed. But in the past, just like in Web2, artists just need to provide their artwork to the middleman or to a platform and wait for the traffic and to generate sales, right, to find a collector. But in Web3, especially NFT platform, it's different. So in my view, NFT platform is more like a platform, tool platform, utility platform. So they provide all the life cycle management of NFT and all the tools and the utilities to NFT. But how to really use it to make it useful and connect to your social circles, it's really up to the creator himself. So if you are creative enough to utilize all those tools and combine them together and connect to your own social circle, and also maybe use some other social media platform to bring in more new followers, that will be a big success. So it's not just publish a work and wait for something happened. So in my view, it's more like an active marketing, active promotion, right? Just like you are doing business by yourself. So it's not just a provided works. So that's my view. So it's more like I think if people have artist have some entrepreneurship in mind, most likely he will be very successful in this early stage of NFT.
Yeah, Brian, I completely agree with you there. I think pretty much being an artist for the last I don't know how many hundreds of years, artists just make artwork and people will just come to their studio or come to a gallery and buy it. But in today's world, you really have to grow your business. It's like a garden, you got to water it, you got to pull out the weeds, you really got to nurture it and make sure that it's like healthy for it to grow and be sustainable. Because I mean, being an artist in today's world is basically kind of like being a businessman. I think Andy Warhol was like the first one to do that, and I think it's not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, I think it's increasing. I think like when you're an artist, you're 50% an artist and 50% a business person, unless you have like management that can take care of you. But I think if you don't have that business mind, you're not going to be successful in today's world.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Yeah, I think a lot of artists, though, and new artists getting onto NFT platforms, they don't know that. They hear these stories about Beeple. They think they can just post their stuff on there. And then there's another group of people that they don't feel comfortable promoting themselves. I guess they feel like their art is so good, or it's just naturally going to happen. So how do you promote your work, Johnny? You're in a lot of social media, or you do a lot of live shows, or how do you do it?
Mostly luck. No. Everything and anything. I actually come from an advertising background. I was an art director for 7 years before I came to Tokyo. And pretty much I learned if you want to be really successful in any medium regarding art, musicians, painters, photographers, whatever, you really got to promote yourself. And in today's day and age, you can promote yourself with all of the above. And I utilize every form of promotion that I can, and sometimes I feel like I'm spending too much time promoting myself instead of actually focusing on my artwork. And that's a dilemma that I think a lot of artists have to face these days. But when it comes to promotion, to answer your question directly, yes, of course, you've got Meta, which includes Facebook and Instagram. You've got Twitter. You've got, of course, YouTube. YouTube is great. I think also, just going out there and being active in person, going to galleries, meeting artists, meeting gallery owners, just contacting people, cold calling, giving out business cards, flyers, posters, whatever you can. And I paint live, going to nightclubs, painting live, doing anything you can just to get the promotion that you need to put your business, your art business, in the direction that you want it to go in. And when I say art business, I mean, if you got a second job, like if you're washing, like, I don't know, if you're washing dishes or if you're busting tables or something like that, and art is like your second business or something, or if it's a hobby, that's cool. That's cool. Or if you're a doctor and art's a hobby, that's cool too. But the thing is, it's just, if you're like an artist, like a real artist, and this is what you're doing, like myself, you really got to promote it and treat it like a business. And there's like a million books out there that you can read, and they all pretty much say about the same thing. And when it comes to NFTs, I couldn't agree with you more, Brian, because the thing is just like, you got to grow that. You got to get that stuff out there. You can't just launch that stuff and just keep it there for a little bit and just hope somebody's going to buy it. And I think the majority of artists are trying to pull that Beeple card, where they're basically just putting up their artwork and be like, all right, cool, $1 million coming my way. Well, guess what? It's not coming. You got to promote yourself. You got to go out there, And the thing is, when you promote yourself and with NFTs, you got to promote the platform too, because if you just say I got NFTs, you can't just say like, yo, I got NFTs. Nobody's going to find them, because the thing is just like, there's so many platforms out there, I mean, and a lot of people, they got NFTs on, well, it was OpenSea, Rarible, Uptick. And the thing is just like, you got to promote the platform and stuff. So it's you got to do a lot of promotion to be an artist. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great. Anything to add to that, Brian?
Yeah, I think Johnny made a pretty good point. So another thing I think is, well, in the past, if an artist have an artwork, so he sent to the gallery or some middle service place, so they will understand it, explain it, and also spread it to the collector community. So that's a very important role for them, right? To help other people understand what's behind this artwork, what's the value of this artist. So in NFT platforms, it seems we are eliminate the middleman or minimize the middleman, and everything's flattened. So that's good and bad. Because in good part is artists can directly participate to participate a deal and to maximize the income, the value of that. But the bad part is nobody explain for you anymore. So you have to be self-explainable, right? At the same time, so when you promote this artwork, maybe it's not just say it's good, but the people need to learn, hear a story or narrative behind it. So that's also very important. But in my case, I'm not I'm probably an amateur, right, to like some artwork. So in my view, it's pretty simple. I want to understand it. I want to understand the passion behind it. So the artwork is just a media, but what we really like is the passion behind it, right? To understand it and to make sure we have a personal contact, connection between the collector and the artist. Mm-hmm. So basically, the NFT platform shorten such a connection, but also we need to do a lot in order to initialize and establish this kind of connection, because there's no people sitting in the middle to help us. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I completely agree with you. That's 110% correct. The only problem is most artists, myself included, are not that articulate. Expressing ourselves. Oh man. At the beginning of this podcast, John's like, hey, so what do you do? I'm like, I do, I don't know. You know, so yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. How do you think an artist should like express themselves? I mean, like when you post the NFT, should you like in the description just write like I guess like maybe a paragraph of like what the art means to you and the background of the art and the inspiration you had for the art? Or do you think it would be better just to make like a short YouTube video, like a 1-minute YouTube video, and then have a link down there for somebody when they see the artwork, and if they like it, they can click on the link, and that will bring up like the YouTube page where they could be in their studio and express exactly what the art meant to them or whatnot?
Yeah, I think what you said, both are pretty valuable. So once if you have a complete profile in the platform, and also it's linked to a real identity of this artist, right? So people will get to know you in the first place. At the same time, if you provide more background materials about yourself and about how you make this artwork, the process, so it will be very good supporting materials to make people follow with you, right? Follow you to go through the whole this creation process. So that's also they can feel the passion from that. So I think the more real stuff, real identity, and real materials will be very helpful. But actually, beyond that, I think just like you said, so some artists they're not very social, right? So they're using the artwork to express themselves, internal themselves. They're not just very active social people to talk to each other. So in that case, actually, I was thinking maybe in the future, in the near future, or is that at least in Uptick platform, I think there will be another kind of role happen. So means I'm not an artist, but I can understand you. I can recommend your artwork to somebody else, just like a new type of middleman, right? So I can also provide such service in a NFT platform to collect, to find the valuable artwork that I like, then I can recommend to others. Because not only the artist is new to NFT platform, but also a lot of collector or buyers, they're also new to that. Most of them, they don't understand how to really recognize good artworks, right? So they still need some sort of a middleman service, but maybe I think there will be something like this kind of role happen very soon.
Oh my goodness. Are you saying that in the future, there's going to be like art galleries and art buyers and art dealers on NFT platforms? For example, let's just say for Uptick, maybe there's going to be like Bob's Choice, and maybe Bob's like an art collector that buys and sells like NFTs. And if you like Bob's like style of like artists, like his collaboration of artists or collection of artists that he has, maybe you go there and then you could choose like a painting or an NFT of a painting from like his list, and then maybe find artists that he recommends. So instead of just being like a million billion artists on a platform, they'll have that, but they'll also have some kind of like categories where like, you know, like an editor's choice kind of thing or something.
Exactly. That has been in my mind for a while, but we will gradually do that, because I think we should not just completely terminate current model and move to this new model. So that there are a lot of people that providing the valuable services, right, in the whole art industry. So we should also transform them into the new platform, as long as they can provide real valuable work, instead of just those information gap, right, to build unfair deals. So I think we should also provide an opportunity for this type of people, because they have a good eyes, taste to recognize good artworks. And once they put into their choice list or recommendation list, so it's kind of like an endorsement, right, to some artworks.
Exactly.
Yeah, this also will help a lot of new artists find a way to grow, right? Instead of just just find a way by themselves, right? Waste a lot of time. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great. If we can just go back a little bit to before, Johnny, you were asking if, you know, those 1-minute videos you sometimes make were helpful or not. I think it's good, but, and I don't know everything, but I think a lot of people like to have a bit more of an interactive experience. So if artists like popped into the Telegram chat more often, or if they use the messaging app or the messaging function within Uptick to, you know, get some one-on-one conversation going with people, like even if it's just, you know, complimenting their work, you kind of build a relationship that way. The videos are good, but I think a lot of people want to have that interactive experience with the artist. And with the video, it's kind of one way. So it's just something, I don't know, if you, I guess everyone's busy. Sometimes people don't have time for that. But I think, you know, being active in Telegram and also through the messaging part of Uptick, you can get a lot of new interest in your work.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you as well. Whenever you have communication with your audience, it's the best way to really, I mean, figure out what they like and figure out what their interests are. And if they want to have, like, I mean, a lot of times when people have got in contact with me, you know, and I went back and forth with them a little bit on Instagram or Facebook, you know, sometimes, you know, maybe 50% of the time it wound up in a sale, somebody either buying something or a commission work. Most likely it's a commission work, to be honest. But yeah, they want to like kind of like pick my brain a little bit before they actually pull the trigger on buying something or moving to like the next level of like the I guess like a commission or anything or something.
Hey, are you giving away, not giving away, are you including the original work with your NFTs? What's your strategy there?
I did that. No, I had this one thing that I did for 2 paintings where basically I had a painting available. I had a painting available, and I also had it as an NFT. And whoever bought the NFT or the painting, well, if they bought the NFT, I would destroy the painting or send it to them, right? And I did that for 2 paintings, and yeah, it didn't take off. And I thought, like, I came up with that in the middle of the night one night, and I was like, that is genius. And I told you about it, you know, like I think a couple of days after that. Yeah. And then after I did that video, I started Googling like videos similar to that, like a kind of like just call it, I guess like tags or whatever in the search. And yeah, I guess a lot of artists are doing that. There's nothing original. But I thought that was kind of cool. You know, if you buy like an NFT, you get a painting, or you can see the painting get destroyed or something. And maybe one of those behind me, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was kind of a fun idea. But it's kind of sad to destroy a painting, you know. In the artist world, it's kind of sacrilege. That is kind of part of the art form.
Yeah, you gotta suit the buyer's requests, I guess. What about pricing, Brian? What's good? Do you think the one of one is best for the artists, or multiple editions of NFTs, or start cheap and then build up the price, or have some giveaways, or what have you seen work well on Uptick?
Well, I think the best way is to find a good combination of those 3 ways, right? So first, of course, the one-of-one artwork is the major one, right? So you want to make it highly valuable to find a good collectors. But in order to do that, you should also do something and maybe surround that. Maybe I can issue some simple works with digital collectible cards, collectible cards. So it's easy to distribute. Sometimes I can also use it to airdrop to some potential followers. So if some people follow me, for example, in the Uptick platform, I can drop a collectible cards to him, right? So that's it. So this is helping me to build my community. That's very important, right? So so at the same time, maybe one of many is also a good way. So maybe the price will be a bit lower than one of one, but it's a good way to distribute to multiple people's hand. So I would say the value, so collectible cards may be low value, a lot of volume. The one of many is in the middle, and the one of one is in the top. So we should combine them together to make sure people understand. So we are I'm a very serious artist, try to build my community. And build my community is the purpose to really establish a long-term, sustainable business, right? Relationship between me and my followers. And also, you know, just like for example, in Uptick, we also create some sales models. For example, we have a discount sale and an exclusive sale. So this is also a way you can just like reward your community members, right? So for example, this one work worth $10,000 something. But if you are my early collector of some NFT, I give you a special discount. That's it, right? So and another way is if you own my collectible cards before, that's the only path you can go into buy this NFT. It's like an exclusive sale. So this is kind of like a build a wall, right, for your community. So that make people judge or try to participate, right, to understand the scarcity of the artwork you are going to issue. Yeah, so a lot of ways to do that.
Hey, Johnny, have you seen any interesting ways to add value to NFTs other than what we've talked about? Like, have you thought about having a meeting or a party or hanging out with your collectors, or how else can you add value to your NFTs? We talked about the physical things, sending them the physical paintings, but have you thought about, or have you seen anyone else doing anything cool in the industry?
That's a really good question. I think there have been some NFT parties, and at this point, I think like every artist that's showing artwork, not every, let me take that back. I think a lot of artists that are showing work at galleries now have NFTs available. Like I went to an exhibit, let's see, a couple of weeks ago in Azerbaijan, and I was there, and basically they had both. They had the painting, and then they also had like the NFT. So you could get the NFT or you could get the painting, and I thought that was kind of cool because, only one person can buy the painting, but let's just say 10 people that come to the gallery can actually get that NFT, which is an exclusive thing. You got to go to the gallery to get the NFT, And I thought that was kind of cool. And that's something that I think I might just do this weekend for my next exhibit. But yeah, I think there's many different ways in how to get NFTs out there and promote them. But I think, I don't know, like, what Brian said with the community, I think that's so strong because when you have a group of people who love your work and love what you do and support you, it's really the greatest way to become, who you want to become and have your art go in a special kind of direction, having to grow your business, So I think community is God, but now that being said, how do you get your community? It's like the chicken and the egg, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I guess the best way to do it would be organically, just like what we talked about earlier, just like develop a presence on SNS. Now, and speaking of SNS, to go on kind of like a different topic, which SNS do you guys think is the best? I think Twitter is fantastic. I think actually going into Discord also and Reddit are fantastic as well. I think they may be even more powerful than the most common one, which is, I guess, Instagram at this point. What are your thoughts?
I'd say Twitter is where it's at.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on Twitter.
Yeah, I think Twitter is obviously is a top one which you use, and but the problem is it's like a short message system, right? So you should read a lot to understand these people. If it's Instagram, that's another good place because I can immediately see a lot of works you had. So it's pretty straight. So I can see all the same style, similar style work together and like a wall over there. So that's a big plus, right? So instead of just a text message type of social communication.
Yeah, you're right. Why is Twitter number one when Instagram you can see all the images? It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah. I don't know. There's a few things though, right? There's like I don't know, I haven't read the fine print, but their privacy policy is a bit weird. Like they can get into your phone and whatnot. And after the last major update, I said, no, I don't want to do Instagram anymore. a little concerning. And I guess that the interface maybe too, it's pretty random. Like, you know, I go on it once in a while, but all this stuff pops up that I don't want to see. It's kind of hard to find
all the
stuff on there.
ads and sponsored and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, who knows what's going to happen with Twitter since Elon Musk just wait, how much does he own of stock? Does he only own 10% or something?
I think he wants to get the
yeah.
whole thing now. I think he got like funding for 46 billion or something. Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
not
God.
finalized, but I think he wants the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah,
he
made
wants
an offer. But you know, frankly, I was thinking, but because we are moving to the Web3 world, so the NFT platform is one part of that. You know, so NFT. So at the same time, we were talking about decentralized messenger system, like a Twitter, decentralized Twitter. Right. At the same time, we also need to have a NFT ecosystem, like a decentralized Instagram, something like that. So in that case, you can also put everything over there with the ownership confirmation, right, to your own address. By having this kind of infrastructure component in place, it will help a lot to promote your work in the marketplace. So all those are essential parts of Web3. So we should not, well, currently we're just in the transformation period. So we're trying to do something in Web3, but we're still trying to utilize the power of Web2 applications, right? To convert people into my new community. Yeah, so I think we're in this kind of transformation right now.
That's interesting.
Hey, Johnny, what about consistency? What's your strategy? You try to send something out on Instagram or Twitter like every day, or you try to do it at the same time, or like from your YouTube stuff? It's important, right? It's not easy, but what would you recommend that people do? Just as much as possible, or?
No, I think bombarding people or bombarding like the internet with just all your artwork it's overkill. You know, I've read from multiple places that you should upload something every day or every other day, but I think that's just too much, you know. And I think if you're producing that much work, if you're producing like a piece every day, it's just like, wow. I mean, that in itself is an achievement. I try to get something on about every 5 days or every week, you know, and it's just like, you know, and I try to find something that's meaningful, you know. And before, and this is just my personal thing that I do, you know, you could take it or leave it, but I used to just take photos of like my artwork or me holding my artwork. But then I thought that was just kind of boring. It's just like me just promoting myself, like me. So I tried to make my stuff a little bit more, or my SNS a little bit more educational and beneficial. So like if I come across a video of somebody that's making some cool artwork or something, or a how-to video, I'll like post that. Or if I go to a gallery, like a friend's gallery, or if I just happen to like just walk upon like some kind of like a gallery where I'm just seeing some interesting artwork, I'll take photos and I'll post that and I'll plug them too. So in fact, like I'm not just trying to like hype myself, but I'm just trying to hype the whole internet community, or I wouldn't say the internet community, just like the whole art community. Yeah. Cool. And maybe that's working, maybe it's not. I don't know. It's just what I'm doing though.
You gotta try.
It's just me, man, and I'm just doing me. And that's gonna be my next t-shirt. I'm just doing me, man.
Hey, speaking of t-shirts, have you tried putting your stuff on t-shirts? You know, there's a lot of like Redbubble and whatnot. There's all these, I don't know the other ones, Etsy, or there's a few others. Have you tried putting your artwork on t-shirts and doing that business?
Oh, you know, funny that you say that.
Really?
My wife and I were having a show with a couple of other artist friends, and yeah, we just got our t-shirts made. So I got one here of Kurt Cobain.
Oh,
I guess you can kind of see it. But you know, now that we're talking about NFTs, you know, it'd be kind of cool that if I have the t-shirt like this, you know, and I got like the artwork on the front with like my name, then maybe on the back, you know, like in the back, like maybe in like kind of like the middle of my back or something, I could have a QR code for the NFT, you know.
Yeah.
Like, go to Uptick. You want this? You can get it right now, you know?
That's great.
Maybe, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm a walking billboard. And then you can sell them. You can sell them and they'll be, maybe if you sell the t-shirt, you know, maybe the person that buys the t-shirt can get a discounted NFT or something. I don't know. That's kind of a cool thing too. You know, how come shops aren't doing that? When you walk into a shop and you buy like a limited edition t-shirt, and there's a lot of little shops like that. You're in Tokyo, you know, maybe you get an NFT with it, you know? That's kind of cool.
Mm.
Well, you could sell like a set of, 100 prints or 200 prints, and then everyone that buys that print gets the right to get a t-shirt, and you could send them the t-shirt, right? You could like do a t-shirt business through NFTs.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's true too. Instead of
Yeah.
getting the actual painting, you could just send them a t-shirt. It'd be a lot cheaper in the mail too.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually in Uptick, when the pandemic is gone, right? So the global logistics is resumed. We are going to do something like that. So just like you can put the cost of the T-shirt into your artwork sale, right? So for example, if I buy a 500 worth artwork, by default you have a T-shirt or you have something else bundled together, right? So the collector should have the rights to claim it. You should send it to them, right? So that will be very interesting. At the same time, currently another thing is about NFT. I talked with John before, like NFT, when people buy it, most people, they don't understand what kind of rights they got, right? So maybe they just collect a artwork. They can show it, show off or display in somewhere. But on the other side, we can also define a kind of like a full rights NFT. When people buy this artwork, they should have the right to reproduce some T-shirt if they want to make it, right? So that will also encourage people to buy the artwork with value.
Yeah, it's a good idea. How would you feel, Johnny? Let's say, when you sell your NFTs, do you assume that person is able to do whatever they want with it? Like they could start making multiple copies and selling it, or they could put it on t-shirts, or do you think the artist should have a lot of the rights to the work even though they sell it? Like copyright and stuff,
Well, that's a complicated question, because when you sell, like as Brian said, when you sell the NFT, you sell the copyright, right? But
well, it's not really nailed down these days. We don't really know what you're getting.
I think you do, because I mean, when I sell a painting to somebody, if they made that painting into a t-shirt, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, good for them, I mean, so I think it's kind of the same thing. When you buy an NFT, it's like buying a painting or buying a photograph, right? You kind of own the copyright, so I mean, and I was on the fence about that. I thought about that for a long time, but I mean, I was of artwork, and who knows what these people are doing with the paintings and whatnot. I mean, are they making them into t-shirts and making $1 million off that? Do I deserve a cut? Maybe, I don't know. But the thing is, it's just like once you make something and it goes into the world, I mean, that's it. That's kind of like the difference between artwork, like painting, and music. When somebody makes a song, they do get like a small percentage. But also, the cool thing is, though, when you do have an NFT and you sell the NFT, you can get 10% of that next sale. Let's say somebody has an NFT and they sell it to somebody else who sells it to somebody else. You still get a 10%, like I think it's like anywhere from 10, 5, 10, something like that. You do get a percentage of like the following sales. So, I mean, you really can't complain if somebody makes that into a t-shirt, I think that's just the way the industry is, and you can't really complain.
Yeah. But have you tried like using iStock photos and stuff? Like if you try to like buy some photos online to include in your website, there's all these regulations. Like you have to say it's from this source, and it can't be too big. I don't know. It's something to think about.
I haven't done that with photography, but I've done that with music.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'll plug this guy. I've gone to Ben Sounds, BENSOUNDS, and basically you can use any of his music, but what you got to do is you just got to give him credit, And so basically, whenever I've used any of his tracks, like in like the description, I'm like, music by this guy, go to the website, Okay. So, and that's just part of the game. And as an artist, I think that's what you should do. You should give him credit. If somebody likes the song, like, well, that's catchy. Oh, from this place. Oh, there, maybe, they get a track, or they support him. Maybe they buy a CD or something, who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, especially for the digital media. It will be easy to track, and so to protect the loyalty, right? So for the physical print, that's another type of things. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty complicated, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's wrap this up, Brian. Have you got a top 3 list or top 5 list of things that new artists should be aware of when they're promoting themselves in the Web3 world? It's been a long show.
Yeah, yeah, good talk. So yeah, I think for the new artist to the NFT platform, so but still, I hope they can understand. So it's not just moving to another e-commerce website, right? So it's they're into a new world with a new business model. So that's very important. So if we have such consensus, they will have the I would say they will also have some tolerance on how to do business in the new platform, because it's not very straightforward, right? So at the same time, just like I mentioned earlier, so they should be creative enough, to active enough, to express themselves, to let more people understand them, especially strangers from different side of the world. So that's also important. And the third part is they need to be prepare a lot of stuff, right? Like a profile, social circle, and even video introduction. Or well, just make sure as many as information as you can to let people who never know you and never talk to you can understand you, right? So become your connection. So that's really important. And the fourth part, I think, artists should not be very price sensitive at the very beginning, because that's the way to build the business, right? So, but of course, you don't have to provide the high value artwork in the first place. You can gradually to release some work, like a collectible cards, one of many, then go to one of one. So that's a way to build market, right? So that's also very important. Yeah. And also, I think it's pretty important is well, similar people like similar people. So you also need to invite your friends, your current circle, go to the new platform to play with you, right? And because they will be people to promote for you as well. You should not do it alone. We are in the social media age, so we should let everybody understand me and promote for me. And also, of course, the platform should provide a way to make everybody can receive some incentive from that, right? So, yeah, so that's something in my mind.
Yeah, it's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, bravo. All right. That was church.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I want to say, Brian, it's fantastic to meet you. And John, once again, thank you so much for having me on your show. I think your show is really great, and you're doing a lot of amazing work for the NFT and art community. And there's just so much more to talk about. So, I mean, if I could be on the show again and hang out with you guys in the future, I'm always here for you.
Awesome.
Yeah. In the future, we should have a beer party together.
Oh, yeah. I got to work tomorrow, so I'm completely sober, just exhausted.
Cool. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.